Right, well, we will call our June board meeting to order at this time. And we need to have an approval of our minutes. Hope everyone's had an opportunity to look at those review those minutes that Amanda had sent to us earlier. So we need a motion to accept our minutes tonight.
So moved.
Okay, in a second?
Second.
All right, very good. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All righty. And the approval of the agenda. Dr. Howard, do we have any changes or corrections that need to be made at this time?
No, ma'am, it's as it stands.
Okay, very good. Then we need a motion to approve our agenda tonight.
So move.
Okay, in a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. All right, very good. Okay, Dr. Howard, we're going to turn it over to you for your comments.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you, first of all, to everyone who's joined us, and for the board's information. We do have some visitors, which is welcome. This is a public meeting, so we just wanted you to be aware. And I want to make sure that the board knows how much we appreciate the partnership of our team. We have lots of folks who have been working diligently to prepare for a pretty important task force meeting that we're going to be working on tomorrow. So we have many things already in process, but we're going to finalize and continue to work on some details of our return to school. As you remember, we did send out a survey. It was really a questionnaire to our parents, asking them to respond and let us know. As of this afternoon, we had about almost 4,000 respondents. I think it's about 3,700 parents respond based on their preference for their children. And right now, 11 people have asked, 11% of the population. Yes, ma'am. Carol? I'm sorry. Was that Carol? Miss Anglin? Okay. Thought I heard her calling my name.
Yeah. Hey, Carol. I see her name on the screen, but.
Yeah, I think she's with us.
Yeah.
Okay. So 11% of our respondents right now have requested that their children continue learning remotely. And I did a quick analysis this afternoon. That's anywhere between 12 and 40 per grade level. So we're going to be working over the next 3 to 4 weeks to really zoom in and figure out how we're going to serve those children. But we have a really good, solid platform in place with Canvas, and we also have already established that remote learning, so we feel good about being able to serve those students. So tomorrow we have a task force planning meeting to ensure transportation, food service, and operational safety and precautions. And then we're going to work with teaching and learning to make sure we meet the needs of our students. So we're working diligently on that, and just wanted the board to know that we'll continue to send you updates as that process continues. So the other thing I just wanted to highlight here, and if you'll give me just a second, I have someone in the waiting room, I'll admit. Yeah. All right. So I'd like to take a few minutes, and Ted is with us, and
April, can you hear me?
Yes, Miss Anglin, can you hear us? Sounds like Miss Anglin may be having a hard time.
Yeah. Well, her microphone's off now.
Yeah. Let's see.
Do you want me to text her?
Let's see. I have it if you want to take my phone, if you need her phone number. She turned her video off as well, it looks like. Give us just 1 minute if you don't mind. I want to see if we can help Miss Anglin. I apologize to those that are tuning in. My phone doesn't go through that numbers there. While Mr. Summer is trying to help Miss Anglin and make sure she gets in, I I'd like to go ahead and start by taking a short walk down memory lane. We were all sitting in a principals meeting on March the 12th, as a matter of fact. And as you all recall, we started to quickly get communications from the State Department and the governor that we were going to go into a shutdown. And we all went home and worked remotely, but we have a dynamic team that very quickly geared back up and spent that best part of 9 to 10 weeks back to back working diligently to serve our students in school nutrition. And so I felt like it was very important that we start our June meeting by celebrating our school nutrition department. So with your blessing, I'm going to flip through some slides to highlight some of the work that they have done, and quite frankly they continue to do. You know that when school finished, we transitioned right into seamless summer feeding, so our students are receiving daily feeds. So that's just a testament to their continued work. So this is a short sort of PowerPoint. I know Dr. Morris is with us and Ted is with us, and anyone who'd like to pipe in, please do. But the first thing I'd like to do is say thank you to Dr. Morris for her leadership. She genuinely just stepped up, and the level of hard work that was involved with that group is pretty, you had to be there to witness it. John Easler went, I want to say a special thank you to him. After a couple of weeks, we said, you know what, there's got to be some help in the front of the house, as we say, in the lunchroom, and coordinating those efforts. And so John went and partnered with Dr. Morris, and they had back of the house staff on a daily basis, and then front of the house as well. So here's just a few of the highlights from what they have done. So the COVID-19, they fed breakfast and lunch for 7 days a week during the entire time. There were over 98,000 meals served for our students. We had teams from schools as well as our transportation and administrative services who were there to support that effort. And we had families who actually had food delivered to them all across the community, including our elementary bases and then going outward. So the really amazing part is, even during such a strange time, there was still attention to all of the USDA guidelines and absolute focus on trying to continue to include locally grown items. So that just speaks to how diligently they're committed to the leadership there. So the next slide that you see here is a picture, just to give you an image of every morning. You would go in and they'd have bags and bags and bags set up all over the East Jackson High School cafeteria, and they would commence to spending most of the morning washing fruits and vegetables and bagging. And so there's a couple of shots of where it starts and then when it loads out the back door, and then there's a picture of our students meeting the buses when they were delivered at the sites. And as I stated, Dr. Morris made a tremendous effort to continue promoting Georgia Grown even during the pandemic. So there's one of our outstanding school nutrition workers who's looks like broccoli. We did everything from broccoli, carrots, celery, baby tomatoes, and kids got balanced meals. And there was a focus of Georgia Ag Week at home, which again, a shout out to how committed they are to the work. There were several days when they were loading 800 to 900 bags of food on the back of buses in the pouring rain, but it didn't stop anyone, both our school bus drivers as well as our nutrition staff. So there's a couple of pictures of that. And then last but not least, this is the reason that we do it all. And these are pictures that families actually sent to us of children who were excited to receive the food. And to honestly, I think based on some of the pictures that I saw, they got excited about what was coming today. They received bags of food on Mondays and Thursdays. Mondays they received 3 breakfasts and 3 lunches. And then on Thursdays, they received 4 breakfasts and 4 lunches. So they were served and received with a smile. So there's just a highlight of what one of the bags may have had in it. And you can see there fresh fruit, baked chips, milks, everything that a child would need. And it's a copy of our schedule that we had. And I just want to send a very special shout out to Dr. Morris, who never once complained, was at East Jackson High School between 5 and 6 in the morning, while many other people had some flexibility to work remotely. She went from 0 to 60 in no time, and she put in place her staff, and they just did a remarkable job. So that is the reason that we have an award-winning school nutrition director, and she has a phenomenal team. And I am very grateful to her and to all of her staff. So Mr. Gilbert or anyone else, I don't know if you have any other highlights, just want folks to know how much we appreciate the hard work, and it just continues.
Yeah, I'd love to say something because you've talked about the teamwork, and it was incredible just to see how that happened. But also in times like these, I think people can do just the minimum and get by and meet the rules from the state or other or the federal agencies. But that was never the intent by our school nutrition department. On every occasion, Dr. Morris and her team went above and beyond. They thought of kids first and families. And I just pleased to be a very small part of this. I was one of those that was at home enjoying video conferencing and the like, but what an incredible work that they did, and my hat's off to you.
So I think those of us who know Dr. Morris know that she doesn't do things for the highlight, but Dr. Morris, thank you again for all that you did and continue to do on behalf of our children and quite frankly, our families. And before we close out our school nutrition highlight, I will say that she would agree with me and how blessed we are to have a great partnership with iServe Ministries. And during times when we would have lulls or we knew families that were struggling, those folks were very, very helpful. And Miss Hallie took on a special projects herself, and she and about 9 or 10 just pure volunteers who knew there were families in great need that couldn't get to the buses, they would personally deliver. Miss Hallie, I know you're on here. I don't know exactly how many. I know we had 9 volunteers that were taking bags of food on a regular basis as well. So as Ted said, you talk about teamwork. Certainly Dr. Morris and her team were the model of that, but there were lots of other people who just stepped up and said, I want to do something, and this is what I'm going to do. Thank you all. And Ms. Wheeler, did anybody else in the audience have any feedback or comments? Rory?
Well, I'd just like to say thank you. We certainly appreciate all the hard work, and I know that was a very big job, but it was so wonderful that our children could still be taken care of, and many of them really, really needed that support. And I know families were especially appreciative also. So it's great that everybody was able to work together to provide that.
Thank you. It was truly a team effort. We couldn't have done anything without the community, without everybody coming together to help us out. So even though you're highlighting school nutrition, it took the whole village, the whole village.
That's great. That's great.
Well, again, I want to say a very special thank you to our board, who's been very supportive, and to this team. And when I say team, it's everybody that works in this school district and really partners. Our parents have been exceptionally responsive, and when we ask for feedback, they give us feedback, and it helps us. And we're headed in the right direction. I do want to say that since we don't have an official board meeting until July, one of the items on the agenda for approval this evening is the alternative calendar. And so we're going to watch the data over the next 2 weeks, but we really feel like that it will be important that we communicate which calendar we're going to start the year on by the end of June. So board members, I'll be reaching out to you and making sure that you're in agreement with our recommendation as to both calendars will be approved, but what we start communicating to parents. Right now, we're really leaning towards the alternative calendar simply because it provides for a lot more instructional time earlier in the year, and we will have had students out of school for 5 months by the time they return. So we feel like we really want to provide some consistent instruction if conditions allow us to return like we hope and like we expect. So this team will continue to work on creating all of the protocols. We've got many of those already established, and we just for the general public's understanding, we'll be communicating that in upcoming weeks. But we've ordered hand sanitizer. We have that. Josh is preparing for bottle fillers so that we can close water fountains and they can use bottle fillers, and everything that has been recommended that we can feasibly implement from the CDC will be implemented. So we look forward to continuing to partner and all navigate this together. So thank you again. And that's all the comments that we have at this time, unless any staff members have anything they'd like to share. But I would like to request a short executive session with the board to talk about one brief personnel and one real estate issue.
Okay. Is somebody saying something else? All right, well, then we will need to have a motion to go into executive session at this time. So do I have that, a motion, please?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right, very good. Okay, we will join you folks later in just a few more minutes.
So Ms. Wheeler,